I know that some of you have been waiting for this video, just like I have been waiting for this news, because Amundi Prime USA Funds is finally available on POEM's platform. And you know what this means. Amundi Prime USA Fund is one of the only few unique trusts that you can invest with your CPF OA or SRS. And this is a unique trust that tracks the US large and mid-cap index, which is very similar to those companies in the S&P 500 index. But what makes Amundi Prime USA Fund so important is that it can be invested using CPF OA or SRS. And I covered in the previous video where Amundi unit trusts like the World Index Funds has been released on POEMs. But back then, there was no Amundi Prime USA, which was what I was investing in using my CPF OA. And to give a quick recap, this fund only has a 0.05% per annum expense ratio, so it's relatively cheap, and this is excluding any platform fees and trading fees and whatnot. So if you were to compare my current CPF OA investments in Endowus in the Amundi Prime USA funds versus if I were to buy the Amundi Prime USA fund on POEMs, which one is more value for money? Which one is cheaper? I'll give you the direct answer right away. It's going to be POEMs. There is no fight at all, because for unit trust purchase on POEMs platform, there's going to be zero sales charge and zero platform fees. So there's no recurring fees. And that means that even if your portfolio grows larger, there are no platform fees to eat up your returns, unlike other digital advisors. Also, to make the deal even sweeter, POEM has very good welcome rewards that you can sign up. Okay, you can get some guaranteed returns, and then you can get some free stocks, free shares, and fulfill the fund and trade requirements. You all know how the welcome bonus work, right? And coincidentally, POEMs is the sponsor of today, but I'll cover more on their promotions later. So if you want the direct answer, POEMs versus Endowus, I already given you. Okay, it's gonna be POEMs. But if you want my long story of coming from an Endowus existing user, should I transfer my positions from Endowus to POEMs, then please continue watching on. And of course, this piece of good news of Amundi Prime USA Funds was first shared on my Telegram group of over 19,000 members. So if you do not want to miss the latest updates in the fastest update time, then join us at over 19,000 people in the Honey Money SG Telegram group for free. So let's get on to the main topic of today's video. Why should we buy this Amundi Prime USA fund on POEM's platform? Number 1, zero sales charge. Number 2, zero platform fees. And number 3, no switching fees. And these are all highlighted on the POEM's unit trust webpage, which you can refer here. It's all stated very transparently. And if you just want to compare on the numbers, on pricing wise, POEMs versus Endowus, there is really no fight. On Endowus, they're going to charge you at least 0.3% per annum if you invested it via FundSmart, which is what I'm already doing it for the past few years. And that means that for every $10,000 of portfolio holdings you have in Endowus, you're going to pay an annual fee of $30. And if you look at my Endowus portfolio, which is around $180,000, I'm going to pay like $540 every year to Endowus for them helping me manage the fund. $540, that's a lot of money, right? So if I were to save those platform fees, I think I could go for a very good Southeast Asian short vacation trip, like 4-day, 3-night. So I guess it's really a no-brainer, right? If you do not have any existing CPF or SRS investments positions, I guess the best way is to start with POEMs. And in fact, if you're really new to POEMs, you can get like their 5% per annum guaranteed return promotion, plus some free fractional shares when you fulfill the fund and trade promo right now. Chinese New Year is almost over, and here is how you can still prosper with POEMs. Join in and grab these rewards by signing up for a POEMs Cash Plus account with my exclusive link, then download the POEMs Mobile 3 app. Next, fund your account and earn up to $88 in fractional shares. Then fund your account with at least 20,000 Singapore dollars within 14 days of account opening to enjoy 5% per annum guaranteed returns. Remember to opt in to Smart Park to enjoy this benefit. You can also start trading with zero commissions on US trades for 90 days when you hold funds in your account for over 90 days. Furthermore, by depositing additional funds in your account from 1st to 31st March and earn up to 50 Singapore dollars in stock coupons. Even if you're new to investing, POEMs make it simple and rewarding. The POEMs Mobile 3 app is easy to use and perfect for beginners, making these festive bonuses an excellent way to start. So don't miss out, these rewards won't last forever. Use my exclusive link or scan the QR code right here to get your POEMs Cash Plus account today and begin your journey to financial prosperity. Now, coming back, it cannot be that simple, right? Otherwise, why I need to make a video on this? I guess there are some scenarios where some would still consider to use Endowus to purchase the Amundi Prime USA fund, including myself. And here's the reasoning. Firstly, there's no debate about the numbers. Like I said, Poems just wins hands down on pricing alone. But what if we look at non-pricing factors? Number one, if you have existing free credits that are unutilized from Endowus, be it you sign up for their promotion or use my referral code, or if you're like me, refer a lot of people and have a lot of existing fee credits that are unused, then ultimately you're not paying anything to Endowus for them to manage, right? Because you haven't exhausted or utilized your fee credits, okay? So if you want to utilize these fee credits, ultimately it will take some time, which means that you don't need to be in a rush to transfer or, sell away your portfolio. You can slowly wait, okay? Because you have fee credits waiting to be utilized, like myself. Number two, to be very objective, Endowus has a much better user interface where I can see the performance, I can see my past transaction records, but on Poems, it gets a little bit more clunky, a little bit less user-friendly, which is very objective. The way I see the app is like, just not as nice as Endowus. So to put it simply, for a beginner, they want it to be like user-friendly, okay? They don't want to be like click high and low to find the buttons where they scared they press the wrong button, they invest in the wrong fund. And this is where I think Endowus does a very good job on the user interface, which is important to some people. But if this is not an important point for you, then the last one definitely is, because regular savings plan is more flexible on Endowus because you can choose the exact calendar day of the month that you want to do your regular savings plan, for those of you who want to dollar cost average. But for Poems, they have a fixed RSP day, which is the 7th calendar day of each month. And the reason is because some people, they want to align the investment date according to when they credit their CPF contributions, or when they want to contribute their SRS. Like 7th calendar day may be too early, maybe too late, depending on how your company credits, right? Or how you want to contribute to your SRS. But Endowus is quite flexible on that. You can do from the first day to the last calendar day, up to you, no issue. And the last point being, Endowus product offerings are quite different from Poems. Endowus is a digital advisor, so they try to promote their flagship portfolios, all those rebalancing, and depending on your risk level, which kind of portfolio suits you better, like a equity to bond mix ratio. Poems is more of, they offer this unit trust, and you must be very sure you know what you're buying into, because there's no help you rebalance, all these auto balance, okay, depend on your risk profile. No, you better make sure Amundi Prime USA fund fits your profile and you're very sure that this is what you want to invest in. Otherwise, you will not be able to hold during turbulent times. So here are some considerations for you to decide whether you want to choose to continue staying with Endowus, or it's time for you to switch to Poems. Number one, for those people who want to stay, is because you already have existing fee credits that you want to utilize. Not myself, I have a lot of fee credits, so I'm not in a hurry to sell away my Endowus positions, or to transfer it over to Poems. Number two, if you're a blank piece of paper, white paper, okay, zero investment holdings at all, then I guess it's better to start with Poems, because lowest fees is guaranteed, okay, profit is not guaranteed. Start with the lowest cost option, and this is where Poems, with zero sales charge, zero platform fees, zero stitching cost, that's where you want to start. Number three, if you want to transfer and move your portfolio, then ultimately the fastest way will be to sell away your positions in Endowus and then buy it back on Poems platform. But is there opportunity cost? Definitely yes, but it can be a potential gain or potential loss because your time is out of the market. And during this period, the market may have risen, the market may have crashed. So you need to anticipate this opportunity, gain or loss, okay, when you are timing out of the market. That is very important. And I already mentioned this in my earlier video. For unit trust, it takes a much longer time compared to cash ETFs, because the settlement date takes quite a long time, like 1 to 2 weeks if you want to do the full process transfer. Then I guess the final action that you could do is to do a unit trust transfer between the two platforms. Okay, you want to initiate a transfer out of your Endowus portfolio and transfer into your Poems unit trust portfolio, and you can do so by filling up this form from Poems website. Okay, fill in the form, submit it to Poems, and then they will liaise with Endowus in the background, although we still need to wait for further data points of people who have successfully transferred this, because it will take some waiting time. So if you're curious and you're asking me what am I doing, like I mentioned in the video, I'm trying to utilize my existing Endowus fee credits, which is still quite a long way to go. I myself will only switch to POEMs when the costs really do not make sense in Endowus. Like, my fee credits really no more, and then I have to pay like $540 every year. I think it makes sense to go to a lower cost platform. But fundamentally, to be objective, Endowus UI user interface is really looking much better and maybe more user-friendly for beginners. But if you're not into user-friendliness, you just want to go for lowest numbers, lower cost, right? Just go POEMs lah, I think really no horse run. And to be super clear, all this comparison between costs is for the CPF OA investment only. If we are talking about SRS, I think something else needs to come in the picture, which is the BlackRock iShares S&P 500 US Index Fund, because that is fundamentally a synthetic unit trust that do not distribute dividends, hence there is savings in dividend withholding tax. So there needs to be a certain level of calculation, and I think this one have to go through in a separate video lah. I won't go through it in this video. And I guess the comparison factor will then be POEMs, Amundi Prime USA Fund versus Endowus BlackRock iShares US Index Fund. What is the ultimate cost ratio that you are going to compare with? So if you want this video, go and comment SRS plus 1. Okay, I will go and work on the script and do up the video in the future. But if you ask me honestly, I haven't been investing in my CPF OA after I paid for my flat because I do have some reasons why I choose not to invest, or maybe the lack of choice to invest. So you can view that video in my most recent video on CPF OA investments right here.